Special coverage continues on this historic arrest and arraignment of Donald Trump in connection with a wide-ranging alleged plot to overturn the 2020 election. Now, the indictment leaves the unindicted co-conspirators facing some pretty tough choices. Joining me now is a political advisor for Rudy Giuliani, Ted Goodman. Giuliani appears to be, according to reporting, a co-conspirator and likely co-conspirator one. Ted, I want to thank you for joining me, and I'm really interested in hearing your responses, because according to this indictment, it appears that Giuliani, in fact, is one of these unindicted co-conspirators. I want to establish some facts first. Has Giuliani received a target letter from the special counsel in connection with this, or I'll finish my question, with this or any other case?
So what I'll say to this is that we can't even confirm if the mayor is one of these co-conspirators. When I read this thing, it reads like some sort of fiction novel, and I can tell you by talking with the mayor, the facts don't align with what the mayor knows occurred. So I can't even get to the point where I can confirm this based off of what's in this thing.
What has the mayor said to you specifically about the allegations?
Look,
that
it's not even about.
Oh,
sorry.
Excuse me. Thank you. What has he said to you about being thought to be co-conspirator one? Does he not believe that he, in fact, is anyone named in this indictment?
Well, before we even get to what the mayor and I have discussed on this matter, I want to give you an example, right? This indictment in this document cites trial by combat, right? It cites the mayor discussing trial by combat. What it fails to include is the fact that the mayor's use of that term was clearly in relation to comparing the mechanical functions of different voting machines, right? And an Obama-appointed judge in a related case even said as much. What the mayor said that day was constitutionally protected speech, and in no way did he mean any violence with the term trial by combat. So that's just one of many examples.
Well, excuse me. So, Ted, having said that statement, you do believe that he is referenced in the indictment based on what you've just said and the explanation you've given. My question, though, directly is, has he received a target letter from special counsel at all?
We haven't. The mayor has not heard from the special counsel, no.
So in terms of that, has he been contacted at all by federal prosecutors to either give testimony, to respond to questions in some way?
Well, as you know, and CNN reported, he voluntarily met with the special counsel, and that comes back to my earlier point. What we see in this, how many pages is this thing? What we see in here are a set of facts in relation to what they're saying, what leaks are telling you is related to the mayor and what was done that day. And what I can tell you is that the facts just don't align.
What I'm reviewing, I think you're calling leaks, I'm calling the allegations, and as you naturally know, it's going to be up to the prosecutors to prove their burden beyond a reasonable doubt. Jack Smith, special counsel, referenced that just on Tuesday in the release of this. Is Rudy Giuliani, is he expecting to be indicted?
Let's not talk about what he may or may not be expecting. Let's talk about what's the dangerous nature of what's going on here. What they're doing is attacking President Trump's First Amendment rights. They are eviscerating the First Amendment by indicting him for simply.
Specifically how you feel that this is actually addressing the First Amendment, because they only seem to reference his statements in connection with them as a conduit of a conspiracy allegation.
The Biden administration is going after their top opponent in the upcoming election by weaponizing the federal government. That's clearly what's happening here, and you don't even have to be a supporter of President Trump to see that. In fact, I think you're seeing a number of folks who don't even support President Trump coming to his defense because they see just the ridiculous nature of what's going on and what a dangerous precedent this would set moving forward.
Let's talk about the precedent, because one, and be clear for the audience, for them to necessarily follow along in particular, just because a politician says something does not make it the level of political speech that the courts will evaluate to figure out whether the government has infringed on those rights. It has to be something that, according to these allegations, they believe goes beyond political speech. You can criticize. In fact, you can criticize. You can, the terms they use, you could contest, you could challenge.
Yeah.
But the phrases
you can raise
can't really
concerns, for example. Sorry.
You absolutely, no, it's okay.
You can raise concerns about an election when you're hearing from hundreds.
Excuse me.
Sorry.
Let me finish what I have to say.
Of
I
course.
want everyone to get the benefit of hearing what you have to say. Do we have a true conversation? You can actually contest, you can challenge, but I think to the point you were going to raise is they're alleging a conspiracy. And so you've spoken about the First Amendment on trial, but this does not appear to dictate that particular aspect. Do you believe that Rudy Giuliani, in his comments, are protected political speech?
The president is well within his rights to raise concerns when he's being told by a variety of individuals about happenings, things that occurred on election day leading up to the election. He's allowed and well within his rights to raise concerns about these issues. What's happening here is the sitting president, the ruling regime, is attempting to criminalize the very idea and act of raising concerns when we had no doubt hundreds, if not thousands, of American citizens across this country raise concerns in all these different areas about what they saw election day.
That's an important point that you raise in terms of potential defense that is being used. And I would note, particularly with Rudy Giuliani, with whom you're speaking about in particular, he recently actually admitted that his statements were defamatory with respect to...
That's not true. That's not true. He did not admit.
Was not, no,
he didn't admit to anything of the sort.
I believe what he admitted to, that he was still preserving his First Amendment rights. He did not believe that damages actually could be attached to it, but that he did agree that the statements that he made with respect to election workers were inaccurate. Does he believe to this day that...
He did not admit a single thing. What he did was make a legal maneuver in order to get to a point in the case that allows for a motion to dismiss. To suggest anything else, you're a lawyer. To suggest
I am.
Yes, to suggest anything else is disingenuous.
That would be interesting for the judge's perspective to note a legal maneuver as opposed to a statement that they've made on the record. But I want to hone in and stick to the facts here of what we understand, and I rely on you to relay that information to me. Does Rudy Giuliani, sitting here today, although he is obviously not with you, does he believe that the election, in fact, was stolen and that the statements that he has made in the past, in fact, are true, that Trump did, in fact, win the election? Does he believe that?
So I hear this word believe, and I hear it so much about this issue, right? And it's not even necessarily about what the mayor believes, right? It's about what he knows. It's about what's been brought to his attention. It's about everything of the work that he put into this. And so it's not even about what he believes. And I want your audience to remember who we're talking about. We are talking about arguably the most effective prosecutor in the last 100 years in this country. Somebody who took down the mafia. This man cleaned up the streets of New York. Look at the Wall Street criminals he put behind bars. Think of all the corruption cases he handled, including members of Congress. Remember how he comforted the nation following 9/11. So not only is this someone bringing forth facts and discussing what he knows to be true about the 2020 election, but this is a man who's proven himself time and time again with a career in public service that's second to none.
I understand the reference points. He's also no longer a barred attorney based on his conduct as of what he has done recently.
Wait,
Finally,
that's not true. That's not true,
Ted,
right? I don't believe that's true. Those hearings are ongoing. Those bar hearings are ongoing, correct?
So
are they?
You failed to put that in the conversation in terms of the challenge that has been made to his integrity as an attorney today. I'm just clarifying that record. Ted, one final question for you.
I want to clarify one thing, though. Those are ongoing proceedings with the Bar Association. Those are ongoing proceedings.
Okay, thank you. Ted, my final question to you. Has he been approached with respect to a possible plea arrangement? And if he were by special counsel, would he take it?
My understanding is, to this point, he hasn't heard from special counsel. And I want to thank you for giving us the opportunity this evening to give our perspective, and we hope to talk again soon.
Great, but before you go, answer my final question, which was, if he were approached with a plea
Look,
offer,
I'm not in a
would he
position
take
to
it?
give you an answer on that question. So, again, I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity this evening and allowing us to give you our perspective on what's happening here and this just ridiculous assault on the First Amendment.
I look forward to that answer when it comes. Ted Goodman, thank you so much.